Okay, well, hopefully you can hear me. If you can't, let me know in the comments. Part of me is like, I should watch a YouTube video while I do this, and the other part of me is like, people don't need to be constantly entertained, do they? I know the answer to that. They do. It's okay. So, hello, it's Sunday. We're gonna get some work done, but first, I want to swap out my keycaps. I've been using the Lilac Dreams ones from Osume. I like the Lilac Dreams from Osume, but I don't love them, and it's because of these really dark purple ones. I just think they look so. It's not contrast for me. It's a little too much, this storm purple, but I do really like the sky lilac. I think like it's a gorgeous color, so that's nice. I did try Osume's new keycaps. Their new company is the doooo keycaps. They're like half the price, and I got these on super sale, so like it was like a third of the price of what I've spent on some of these Osume sets. They're nice. You can definitely tell the difference. Like they're not as nice, but they're half the price, so why would they be as nice? So if you're looking to get into keycaps and you want some really cute ones, I would recommend the doooo ones. Oh, this isn't unplugged. In general, though, I don't need more keycaps, so I will probably stick with Osume like once a year, during their sales and stuff for now. But we'll see. We will see. I need to figure out my finances before anything else happens, which is part of what I might do today. I have to do some expenses stuff at some point, so the work will begin ideally at like 3 o'clock if I can get this keyboard swapped out in time. My apartment is also hot now, and I forgot how hot my fucking apartment gets. And I'm already miserable a little bit, so gonna not try to bring that energy. I'm sitting on something cold. I have something freezing in the freezer that I can hopefully put around my neck to also cool me down, because sitting on a thing is not always the most effective because it, doesn't retain the cold the whole time. I have an AC unit on and a fan blowing, and it's still sticky in here. I miss the dry heat. I didn't know how much I would love dry heat. I'm not taken aback that no one told me how much I would love the Southwest, but it was a surprise to me. I really, really enjoyed my trip to the Southwest. Would love to go back on vacation sometime and like really spend time there. I got to go to the Georgia O'Keeffe Museum for like an hour, and that was really, really lovely. I'm surprised it's not bigger, but I guess like a lot of her work is probably in other museums. But it was still really cool to see. I love her as an artist. She's one of my favorites. I was also surprised at the lack of kind of acknowledgement of what the paintings are like, and what they're kind of famous for. And I was like, I don't know if this is like just people being uncomfortable with like the sapphic nature of her work. Like, there are people who work there. They clearly know what Georgia O'Keeffe was painting all those years. Her interpretation of Lake George does not leave much to the imagination. But it was just funny. I don't know. It was like the video that they showed in one of the little rooms had like a lot about her 30-year marriage. And then it was like her marriage became strained. And it's like, and then she started taking solo trips and trips with a female friend. And I was like, oh, did she? So, I had fun. But I really loved Santa Fe. I thought it was so cute. It's one of those things that, being a New Yorker, when I show up other places, I'm like, oh, right. Nobody walks around here. Like, everybody kept looking at me a little funny, and like the sidewalks just kind of end or don't exist. And I was like, oh, I forgot what hostile architecture is like. But also, it's a really cute city, and it was super walkable. So I was like, this isn't that hard. And then I took a train from Santa Fe to Albuquerque, and that was nice. I love a train. I saw Mustangs, and I cried. I wrote some really bad poetry, as is my right. I think writing poetry is one of those things that like I haven't done in many, many years because I have a complicated history with with my poetry and like how I related to my poetry. And the general concept of it, basically. But I had fun writing bad poetry, and I was like, I should do more bad art on purpose. I think it's really freeing, and it's good for the soul. And also, usually by the time you're done, you like it more than you thought you would when you started. Which is also why I have this like ugly, semi-ugly collage that I put up a while ago. It's behind my desk. I just want to like show it really quick. Of course, I'm revealing my entire thing, but like, this the Pokemon sticker is from 1998, so ignore that, but like the montage behind it is just very silly to me, and I love this picture of Martin Scorsese with his Oscar. The Sebastian Stan thing is mostly because I was like, I need a big picture to take up space. I was making that while my friend was being weird, and I was just kind of like panic making art in the corner as I tried to figure out if she was mad at me. Spoiler alert, she was, but she wouldn't talk about it. So I have kind of weird associations overall with that piece of art, but I love the Marty bit so much, and everything in my life started working out better as soon as I made it, because I was staring at a thing that says, "You've got the winning hand" every day, and I started to believe it. So you can trick yourself. Your brain is actually like astoundingly easy to trick, which is something that con men know. Like bad people with bad faith know how easy it is to trick our brains into doing bad things. So why shouldn't we trick our brains into doing good things? Yeah. I can't believe how warm it is in this apartment. I know that it's warm outside, and I know that the humidity is the reason for this, but like, oh no. If I thought I was going to get away with not being miserable this summer, I might have to think again. But I also might leave for like the entirety of August. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out right now. I at least should take 2 weeks out of the city and just like let myself not be in a swamp of misery. But I also, I don't know, Weem didn't have a great time when I left her. She was fine, and she actually did come say hi to my neighbor, because my neighbor has great vibes. So Weem was well taken care of while I was out of town for 18 hours. But it makes me sad to think about leaving her for 2 weeks. So I don't really want to. But we'll see. I do want to go have kind of a staycation. And I know it's not a staycation because I'm not staying in the city, but like have kind of a time outside of the city to like reset and just like hang out for a bit. And like Cape Cod's fun. There's a baseball league there that I didn't realize was like basically like minor league before the minors. And last year we went to a few games while I was in town, and it was a good time. I love baseball when it's live. So, and it's also one of those things where like, I don't know, it's hard for me to like reconcile a lot of the relationships that I've had and not had with my parents over the years, due to mostly their actions, a few of mine, but mostly I'm okay giving them most of the blame. They'd be shocked that I'm not giving them all of it. But it is one of those things where I'm like, they are getting older, and I should spend time with them while we have the time to spend. So that's kind of the vibe I'm going for, as morose as that is. Oh my god. I'm like, you can't see the fun part, which is me like organizing the little Lego bricks, but I don't know. I find it satisfying to watch people pull these off, but I'm also not doing clean ASMR on it. Which is what people want. I know what people want. I just refuse to do it. I have been thinking about like the concept of if I have a defiance complex or not, and I think I do. Nothing to be said about it really beyond like, I think I do recognize that about myself. Let's load up the tray. Bow bow. Then all of them do come with this like little art box that's thoughtfully designed. And it is so thoughtfully designed. I'm going for plain this week. I'm going to do plain white because I like how it looks. It's clean. It makes me feel like everything's like all of the back, like, I don't know, the backlights really trip me up sometimes. Sometimes I get in my own head about things. Oh, what else do I want to complain about? No, I'm trying to be less complainy. I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, it's hard for me to recognize when things are going well because my body is so used to things not going well. So I want to take the time when I notice myself doing things to stop and be like, this is good. So I've been trying to do that more, trying to like rewire my brain around money, which is why anytime I have a bad thought about money, there's like this little manifestation phrase of like, money finds me easily, that I will just say out loud to the universe. In hopes that my brain will take that in. Of course, it's possible my brain has taken that too far in the other direction, and now I'm like, oh no. Oh no, what's credit card debt? So I gotta figure some shit out. It's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna work out. I believe in me. And that's all capitalism cares about, right? Belief. It'll be fine. I have a full-time job. And my boss moved my one-on-one from Tuesday to tomorrow, and I'm kind of panicking about it, but I'm also determined to not panic and make up stories in my head, because it's actually not a big deal. But I did go out of town to do my other job, and I wasn't like shy about that fact, but I am a little bit like, oh, are they gonna fire me? And it's like, no, that's just my old brain finding something to latch onto and be nervous about, because I'm like, everything's been too easy, and it's like, no, it hasn't been too easy. You are just dedicated and like doing pretty well at doing your job. Like, that's all that is. Okay, so life goes on. I'm also trying to like take the time to appreciate more things, which I think is a good thing. I'm just going to start doing my to-do list out loud right now. Today, my plan for what I'm going to work on during body doubling stuff, I have to write the Monday morning prompt, which I didn't write before I started doing the live, which is a little annoying because it means if I want to write it twice, I have to do that, which is fine. Because my thing with the Monday morning prompt is that I always do the prompt before sending it out, obviously, for many reasons. One is that I include a photo of it as like the header image, but the other is that I have done prompts and then I'm like, oh, that prompt doesn't work at all. So I have to do it before I can finish the newsletter, and I usually film myself writing the prompt before I turn on the live because I like to film myself in a particular way, and I only have one iPhone that I film with, blah, blah, blah. This is too much explanation, but here we are. I want to read a book this week, like a real book. I have been listening to nonfiction audiobooks a lot at work and on my way home from work because I find them less distracting than podcasts. And by distracting, I just mean like I am able to tune in and out of them without feeling like I missed a lot, but also I don't have to skip ads. There's nothing I hate more in the world than unnecessary ads. So I've been listening to The Wizard of Lies, which is, they made a documentary about it that I did watch, but I wanted more than the documentary could offer, but it's a nonfiction book about the rise and fall of Bernie Madoff. And I find financial crime to be fascinating because it also typically lays bare kind of the inefficacy of these regulatory boards that people swear by. And I just think it's like one of those truly American crimes that we should look into and disseminate more information from and really understand like the corrupt nature of hedge funds and maybe ban them. But instead of that, everybody does the Bernie Madoff was one bad guy. Ooh, yeah, I've had that too with books. There's a book that I have recommended so many times, but I forget that I should be doing it like basically every week in order to keep it in the public conscious. But there's a book called Palo Alto by Malcolm Harris. A History of California Capitalism and the World is its subtitle, and I fucking love Malcolm Harris. He's one of my favorite authors. But I would literally get so upset that like people in my life were like, "You have to stop reading this book." Like, it is actually breaking your brain in a bad way. And I was like, I know, but like, you guys don't understand. The Bank of America started by stealing from immigrants. And so now every time I walk by Bank of America, I'm like, did you know that Stanford is like one of the most evil institutions on the face of the planet, actually? And like, nobody should ever want to go there because it was a eugenicist college. And remained such until like 1987 when they finally took a bunch of eugenics questions off of the application. Like, America has a complicated history with like a lot of prominent progressive figures falling into the trap of the eugenics thinking of the early 1920s. Stanford started it, it wasn't the same as when we criticize Margaret Sanger for it. Stanford, like the original guy, basically invented modern racehorses. And that was like his first kind of foray into eugenics. And yeah, it is. Also, the like wife who took over when Stanford died, like Stanford's wife, was poisoned by the guy who took over the university after she died. And she survived being poisoned like twice. And then they got her ass when she was in Hawaii. It's I cannot tell you how much this book, and I'm only talking about shit from like the first section of it, because it just gets so much more wild and crazy. This book, it's my favorite book. This book is not worn in because it's too heavy to really read. So I read it on my Kindle, and I also have it as an audiobook. It's not read by Malcolm Harris, but as someone who's seen him speak a few times, that's okay. He's a good speaker, but he's not like an audiobook vibe. It is 628 pages, but it starts with a really interesting foreword about him growing up in Palo Alto. And really tragically, it starts with like noting the suicides that occurred in his classmates, and how many of them took place on the train tracks. And then the start of it, as many of the history of American California does, it starts with talking about the railroads and who built them and how they built them, and the pressure that the teenagers in Palo Alto are under. So yeah, it's a deeply depressing book, but it's also one of those like knowledge is power things. And I always talk about it like it literally did ruin my life. Like I think I lost friends over how kind of anxious I got when I was reading this book about just like America. Occasionally I do this thing where I'm like, well, so society's rotten. So what do we do? How do we live? How do we move forward? And nobody ever has answers for me. It's interesting though. And it goes through, like, it has a bunch of real, if you're into history at all, I would say it's really good. At this point, he's talking about like post-war capitalism, and the Cold War and California, because California produced Reagan, which somebody left a positive Reagan comment on my channel the other day, and I was like, I am not doing a good enough job describing my politics on here if people feel comfortable mentioning Reagan in any kind of positive way. But what can you do? Anyway, I recommend Malcolm Harris books. He also has a book that I think is like a lot easier to start with, which is Kids These Days, The Making of Millennials and Human Capital. And I talked about that book a while ago in relation to Rory Gilmore and how Rory's, like, a lot of the things that people kind of put on Rory are things that, like, a lot of millennials had kind of pressure cooked into them, and how she's kind of this perfect example of why millennials are so, like, stressy all the time about everything, is because, like, there was so much pressure put on us by our parents in order to, like, prove that they were good parents by getting into good colleges and stuff. And as much as I think Lorelai Gilmore is, like, trying to not be her parents, it doesn't mean that she doesn't have the expectation that Rory's going to grow up and go to one of the hardest schools in the world to get into, and what kind of pressure that does to a child who is internalizing it without necessarily, like, noticing that that's what's happening. I love how this looks. There's something about the uniformity of it that really, really appeals to me. Okay, it's 2:55. I said I would start work around 3, so I'm gonna give myself until 3. It's still pretty bright out, so I feel like I could do kind of a fun color, and that could be fun. Let's pick my desk color for the setup today. That's pretty. Okay, boop. That can be off. This is always fun. Okay, this is concentrate. This is like, nope, that's the lounge. Jesus Christ. The lounge, aka the living room. I do like to call it the lounge though. The office. This is concentrate, which is like bright white. Which might be nice, and then I can just do the desk lights as something fun. I don't remember what this one is. Prism could be fun. Let's see. Can I make it go slower? Done. Save. Cute. Okay. Ooh, good luck editing the podcast. That's always a tough gig. I still have to film mine. I might be able to do that later today, but I'm also not going to push myself to do that later today. But rather try to get it done this week. But I can tell I'm doing that thing where I'm like, well, I can't do that until I finish this thing. I'm like, that's not true. It's not how life works. Okay, let's see. What do I need to do today? Let's make a list. Boop. Let's make a list. Let's make a list. All right, sorry. This might be weird. We're going to clean the lens because I forgot to do that before starting. I need to sit on that cold thing. I genuinely hate how much, like, how hot my chair gets. Maybe I'll get better at doing work standing up this summer, but I don't know. I don't know how realistic that is. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. I have my water. I have my coffee. I have not set up a Notion page in weeks on this thing. April. Oh, fucking nailing it, though. Page. No, wait. How did I used to do this? Let's make a Notion together. There's weekly template. Duplicate. Week. What is it, 24? Week 25. I need to edit that. Week 25. June 14th through 20th. Yep. Let's make a pie. Let's make a pie. Sunday. I'm not doing either of those. Okay, it's 3 o'clock, and that's when I said I was going to start the pomodoro. So I am going to hold myself to that. Okay, we're going to start doing work. Let me know in the comments if there's anything you want to like chat about during breaks. Hopefully this tripod will stay, but I think the mic is now heavy and it's making it kind of do, hang on, I'm going to try something, but I'm sorry if it makes you dizzy. God, this thing sucks. This is so annoying. Stay tight. Stay tight. I just want it to like not be, okay. Hopefully that works. Okay, great. We're going to get started. I'm going to put the mic down there and hopefully it's not too in the way. Yeah, leave comments about what you want to chat about during breaks. There will be 25 minutes work, 5 minutes of breaks, and we'll just keep going until we're done, and it'll be great. And everybody's going to get so much done. We're going to be so productive. Yay! Best of luck. Chat to you soon. Okay, and break. Oh, Monday morning prompt number 69. Nice. Week 25. Have I used the 5 prompts? Oh, this is cute. 1973. Wow, 53 years. I don't go away, Grammarly. I'm sorry, there's a Center for Optimism. Okay, well, I love this. Oh, I have Hamilton stuck in my head. Hi, Ween. Hi. What are you up to? Yeah. History is happening in Manhattan, and we just happen to be. Okay. And empty. Will I learn how to spell optimistic by the end of writing this? I don't know why I want to write optomistic every time. Bing bong break time. I'm excited. I feel like this is a good prompt for the week. If only it was going out on 420. Truly, I think I did. Did I send one on 420 this year and kind of reference it? I may have. I did try at some point to keep this like a strictly professional blog. It's me. How is that ever going to work? I didn't watch single game either. I only found out they won because the fireworks started going off. Last night I was invited to go watch the Knicks last night, but like here's the thing about New York City. I love New York and I love living here and I'll live here as long as it'll have me. But I hate being trapped in New York City. And that is the feeling that I think everyone has when they go out for these like mass events is eventually you get stuck. And it's just not fun for me. I don't handle it well. Other people are really chill about it, but especially during the summer, like I will get stuck on a cold day, you know. I'll figure my shit out when I have mittens and gloves and hats and shit, but like when it's hot and I know that every single subway is going to be filled to the brim and I know the buses are truly like not going to be able to move. I can't do that. And also, I've had such a weird weekend. I also fell asleep on the couch last night, which is not great. But it turned out that it was good that I stayed home because my neighbor got stuck somewhere, and so I ended up being able to walk her dog for her. And so, like, you know, sometimes things work out. I the thing about New York is like I love being in New York. I love being surrounded by all this shit. Like when I took the dog out, like there were so many people walking down the street wearing Knicks stuff, and like people, like the cars were honking, and like it's fun to feel part of it. But all of those videos of like people on the street watching it get projected and like singing along to stuff, like I love that people can do that, but like that's not me. That's so not my vibe. I would like to be somewhere with air conditioning. I would like to be somewhere where I can have my own personal space. And I also I'm a worrier. I'm a worrier for my group and stuff. So I'm always like, well, if we go out and my friend needs to pee, like what's gonna happen? And I get to, and you know, so it's good. It's good that I know the stuff. Yeah, exactly. And I think like it's one of those things where when it's happening, you can feel really like bad about not being part of it in a bigger way or something. And then I'm like, no, this is how I'm part of it. My part is not adding to another body trying to squeeze onto the subway that night. Um, and my friends who went out and like stayed in their neighborhoods and like, you know, had fun, like they had so much fun and I'm so glad for them. The other thing is I don't give a fuck about professional sports. I'm glad that the city is getting to experience this. I think it's cool. I'm obviously using it as like a whole thing. Yeah, I cheered at cars. You know, let out a woo when my neighbor set off some fireworks last night. It was a good time, but like That's not my energy, and therefore I don't. I'm also like, I think there is so much social pressure now to like have everyone respond in the exact same way to everything. And it's just like the older I get, the more confident I am in my like, no, like I'll enjoy that the way I do, safely from over here, and everyone else can go do that. And that's fun for them. And it's more fun for my friends when I'm not there and going like, are you guys sure you don't want to take the last subway out right now before the big thing happens and we get stuck here forever? So that's that's that on knowing yourself. But yeah, I think it's good. I think it's good that everybody celebrates differently, and I'm glad for all those sports fans, and I'm just simply not one of them. Yeah, exactly. Like, no, that's nice for you, and I will be over here having my version of fun. And I feel like this was something that I like used to say to an ex, where like she always wanted to watch horror movies with me, and I was like, but I don't want to, and I'm not fun when we're doing that. So why don't you just go watch them with your friends who do have fun doing that? And I think she really took it as like insulting that I wouldn't do this thing with her, and I was like, but neither of us have fun. Like it's not a matter of like not being willing to do it. It's more just like she also like she was a noise musician, and I was like, I don't want to go to noise concerts. Like I have a thing with music. I get very stressed out when things are not on beat, on a predictable beat, and that's not what noise music is. Um and so yeah, exactly. It's not an insult to the thing that they love. It's being thoughtful about the fact that they will not be able to love the thing they love if I am there being miserable in the corner. Like I think it's so much worse when people fight through that instinct and are like, "No, I'll go." And then they stand there and the whole night you have to be like, "I know you don't want to be here. I'm sorry that I made you come." And they're just miserable. Like I will never put my friends in the situation where they're looking at me going like, "Oh god, Claire's miserable." Because I know myself and I know I will be, and no thank you. Like this is part of planning, is that sometimes when people are like, we'll just wing it, I'm like, you're not thinking through the fact that you're going to be miserable in 3 hours, and I don't want to be there while people wing it. That's the other thing. I won't go to things where people are like, we're just going to figure it out. I'm like, nope, that means I'm going to figure it out. Like, that means no one has had the planning abilities to do this before. um and I don't, yeah, noise music is like, I'm like, oh god, wolf mother, or like, I don't know, there's a lot. I'm like, I'm gonna say things and people are gonna be like, they're not noise. um I don't think they classify, but like the noise adjacent musicians that I actually do enjoy and have been to a concert of are like Death Grips. But a lot of noise music is just like extremely disjointed electronic stuff, and it just stresses me out because it's not keeping a tempo. And it's supposed to do that, but like, uh, yeah, I used to buy synths for my ex a lot. I actually, this is like a weird thing to have so handy, but I do have it. This was a birthday card that I made for her the year that I bought her a very nice synth, for her birthday. So, yep, I'm a good girlfriend, even when I probably shouldn't be dating that person, you know? Okay, great. We're 2 minutes into the next work round, so here we go. Yay! I'm looking for my new work. My new work. I'm looking for my new work. Whoa. I'm so tired. Oh my god. I feel like I'm losing my fucking mind. Because I am. Oh my god. Okay. Why do I have so many expectations of myself? I was gonna say, who made me like this? And I'm like, me! It was all me. Okay. Everything's gonna be fine. Why are you crying, Weem? What's wrong? I know nothing's wrong. You just want to cry. No. I wish I was playing too. I wish I was laying down with you, chilling on the bed too. But I don't get to do that because I have to afford to feed you and take you to the vet when you need it, which thankfully is rare. Because you don't like it either. I know, sweetie. I wish you liked being on the desk because then we could just hang out with you up here. But you're so skittish. You don't like the desk at all. Meow. What? What's wrong? Oh, it would probably be better if it was a YouTube link. Anything can happen. It's anything could happen, I guess, but Good Lord. Oh, hey, it's break time. Um, great. We're doing great, everybody. We're making our way through. Um, that's honestly really fun. Um, I love the idea of a ladybug birthday cake. That's so cute. Um, I agree. I get why Weem cries when I can't hang out, but I'm also like, I need to do work so that I can afford to feed you, baby. I'm so excited. That's so fun. I love baking. My friend is currently taking a clown class. I'm like, can I find this quickly enough for it to be worth it? Yeah, my friend is currently taking a clown class, and I have been threatening to make these cupcakes um, for her showcase, which I think I will, um, just because like they seem cute and easy enough to make, like on a pretty limited budget. Because I just got to make like cupcakes and then just do the edges. So I have told her that I'm going to do this. And she has said that she likes strawberry and chocolate cake mix. So I'll be using them. I'm currently going back through my reviews from my workshop so that I can pull feedback into the newsletter. And I gotta say, I should really look at some positive feedback about myself more often. Um, the feedback that I got from my first in-person workshop, which I did on Friday, was incredible. Like, and obviously, like, people aren't going to come up to you and be like, that was an okay session, but like, everybody was so effusive. And the woman who booked me for the session overheard a woman at her table say, like, this is the best session I've ever been to, not just at this conference, at any conference. And I was like, I can't imagine a better compliment for the woman who booked me to over fucking here. Um, and that was really fun for me. And now I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh, the woman who booked me is one of the women who left a compliment on here. Yeah, it was really great. I was in a fever dream that entire morning because like literally nothing went well until it was over, and then everything went pretty well. I got in really, really late. Like I arrived at the hotel at 1 a.m. Mountain Time, which was 3 a.m. Eastern for me. And my room was hot. And I was like, it's too late to kick up a fuss about like, can I move rooms? Is there air conditioning that's working in another room? My room was really hot. And I was just like, fuck it. I'll just sleep on top of the sheets. And like, I only could sleep for 4 hours anyway, because I had to wake up and shower and like, because I wasn't gonna shower, I was just gonna do a body rinse, but like my hair doesn't look good for longer than 30 fucking seconds. So I showered. I woke up really, really early and I showered and I went down and I had breakfast because I was invited to have breakfast with everyone. And I was like, I should go do that. I should like make sure that I'm not presenting on an empty stomach. Which was good, and I did meet everyone I needed to meet. The other thing is like they're in the middle of a conference. I showed up the night before. I never said hi to anyone because it was 1 in the fucking morning. So they were just happy that I was there, and that I like made it. And then I did the whole presentation with a handheld mic, so it felt like stand up vibes. Um, but I make them do a finger vote, which I do in a lot of workshops. Where I was like, "How excited are you to plan your next meeting?" In the first section, and everybody was like a 1 or a 2. And at the end, I was like, "How excited are you to plan your next meeting?" And everybody put up fives, and I went, "Yay!" like really loudly, and everybody loved it. I made people laugh like a few times, and I think that like laughter is truly the easiest hack to making people think you're like brilliant. So that was really fun. And yeah, I got a lot of compliments after the session to the point that I was like, I have to leave. Like I'm not able to smile and say like thank you so much because like there's nothing I didn't talk to a lot of the people, so there's nothing I can say back of like your response was so brilliant, you know. So it was very funny. It was good though. It was good for my confidence. I feel like I don't talk about it a lot because it's like not helpful to talk about online, but like I've been going through some weird body stuff lately, and being in person was definitely like, oh, they're gonna see my whole body. Like they're gonna there's no angle that I can look better at, you know. And then I was like, right, it's okay. It's okay to do things fat. It's okay to do things when you feel ugly. You actually don't owe anyone anything in terms of looks. So that was good for me to remember. All my dreams have come true in the last year, and I've been the fattest I've been in my life. So I'm just very like, everybody should get out there and do things. It's okay if you don't look the way you think you want to look. Maybe by the time you look the way you want to look, you'll have the skills, to go along with whatever your dreams are. But yeah, it was good. Ugh, I don't want to do more work. This is why I have to do it on live. Okay, it's gonna be fine. We're all gonna work out. Everything's gonna be okay. I'm so tired, and it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Okay. I'm like, there's no way I got any insights from these that are helpful. And I know that. But these are good insights. Set your goals. Really loved. Help me get some. Yay. I always love actually read it. Somebody rated this a 1, and I'm always like, I know who did this. Okay. Good job still working on stuff, everybody. Let's do it. I'm obsessed with like this one rating. Okay. Anything can happen. Don't just take our word for it. Here's what some past attendees. Sign up for Fix Your Meetings. Anything could happen. No. Wait, is this heading 2?
Ooh. Fun. Fascinating. Okay, cool. Badoop. Invited. And more. I like that I imply that their meetings are broken in the invite. I'm not even trying to nag. Eliza, I'm looking for a mind at work. Why don't I want to finish this? I just like, ugh. I like got so close to being done, and I was like, ugh. don't want to. I don't want to read through it. I don't want to check things. I did buy this water bottle in JFK, and it is not full of smart water, and it hasn't been since the first like hour I bought it. But I will continue to use it. Boy, do I love this kind of lid, which I should just get like an Awala or whatever, but I do find myself weirdly resistant to buying new water bottles, mostly because like I tend to fuck them up at some point. But apparently I can't even drink. Good Lord. Okay. Hey facilitators, we've got 2 great workshops happening next week that we want to make sure you got the invites for. Fix Your Meetings, June 24th, 3 to 3:45. Some quick and easy to implement professional development on Friday afternoon. We all have meetings, so I want to make sure that they're the best meetings they could possibly be. And this workshop will cover methods that guarantee you'll hear from everyone during the meeting, what we as facilitators can do before the meeting to make sure it's successful, how to plan comprehensive agendas without adding time to the planning stage. Don't just take our word for it. Here's what some past attendees have said about the workshop. This workshop is full of great information. I find it helps to reflect on what works and what doesn't. I appreciate how fast space was. Thank you. Very engaging and a ton of usable information in a short period of time. I'm going to get rid of at least that one. I loved the modeling of techniques throughout the workshop. Also, the why how framework for preparing for meetings was really helpful and immediately applicable. Reset your goals for 2026. Reset your 2026 goal June 26th at 12 to 1 p.m. ET. We're almost halfway through the year, so why not spend an hour getting clear on some mid-year resolutions? I think I already clicked it, but just in case. Spend a thoughtful hour reflecting on how the year has gone so far and brainstorming how we want to spend the remainder of 2026. We'll do this by doing some solo reflections on what our goals were at the beginning of the year versus what they are now, making a list or two of goals we'd like to focus on the next 6 months, breaking down at least one of those goals into actionable steps that we can take on a monthly, weekly, daily basis. Come with sticky notes, leave with the confidence that you can accomplish everything you want to in the next 6 months. These goal-setting sessions are not our typical highly interactive workshops. They're a space for folks to come and receive guidance through the steps that take our goals from abstract to applicable. Here's what folks said about Set Your Goals session from January. That was a great class. I got a lot out of it, especially considering it was 1 hour. I love the fast pace because I did not have time to overthink. Really loved this. Very useful exercises. Helped me Good job. Break time. We did it. I'm finished. Another email. Yeah. That is a good point. I should make a praise folder, especially because sometimes my self-confidence is truly just a marvel to me. And I don't quite know how to word that in any other way. I don't know, I hit 10K on TikTok and I was talking to my boss is back from mat leave and is trying to get to know me and blah, blah, blah. And so she was like, what do you like to do? And I was like, I had literally hit it that. I had woken up that morning and finally saw the 10K because people could see it, but I couldn't see it, which was weird. And I woke up and I hadn't talked to anyone about it. I'm kind of in a weird phase right now where I'm having some weird friendship stuff happen in a million ways, in a million different directions. And so my new boss was the first person I ended up telling that I hit 10K. And she was like, that's incredible. And I was like, yeah, I forget that numbers really add to the account, to the kind of seriousness people take it when you say oh, I make videos online. They need other people to have already signed off on you in order to right size where they should put you in their head. And that's annoying to me.
but I like not in this individual case. It's like annoying to me overall that any time in the last 8 months I've been like, oh, this is happening. People are like, yeah, okay. And then I tell them the number and they're like, oh, that's really happening. And I'm like, yeah. Like I have, not to brag, I have videos that were viewed thousands of times. I wouldn't have brought it up as a special. I wouldn't have said the video's popping unless it was getting over 100K views. Like, um, it's so many fucking people. It's like actually really incredible. And I really do want to emphasize, like, I don't take it for granted that 10,000 individual people hit that fucking plus sign. And that people have done that on YouTube as well. And like, there's obviously overlap, but not everyone. And that's cool too. I'm like, I feel like there was like a bunch of comments that I missed because like it did the thing where it got a new comment and went down. Yes, definitely don't lose your head while doing an incredibly difficult thing. But also way to go. It's, yeah, I think it's one of those things where like, I really do try to, yeah. And like, it's that thing where it's frustrating. I'm just going to be really honest about it. 'Cause I'm like, we're all friends here. It's really frustrating for me the last few months to have a lot of people in my real life not engage at all with my videos. That's not the frustrating part. But then when I talk about things, they're like really earnestly surprised and then kind of show interest now that they know that it's like going well. And it's so frustrating because I'm like, it shouldn't have required strangers for you to believe that. But it did. Like, yeah, I would the thing about like the frustrating part for me about TikTok is that like it is so much more time sucking and I am so much more fun on that app than I am on YouTube, because YouTube really makes me feel like I can't upload it here unless it's about something and not about me, because I generally get really weird comments on here when like I post things that are not about a show. People, the thing that I can't stand the most in life is people treating me like I'm stupid. Because if there's one thing I refuse to ever believe about myself, it's that I lack intelligence. And I I feel like occasionally I'll post like optimism or like hope core stuff that like I post because I need to hear it. And I'll get comments that are like, you'd have to be fucking stupid to believe this. And I'm like, okay, well, like, what do you want from me? And yeah, it's like, it's frustrating to me. What's frustrating is not necessarily that people like haven't been supportive, but it's like when like I said to friends at one time, like the most viral I've gone was this one video about Taylor Swift. And I feel like I talk about this video way too much, but like it really did alter my brain chemistry in certain ways. Um, I went to a Broadway show. I went to Liberation and they made us lock our phones away. And I got my phone out and I was like, I made a joke of like, oh, it's probably good that I wasn't able to check my phone for a few hours. And it came, I was like, whatever. And my friends were like, what do you mean you're like popping right now? And I was like, I mean, like, I'm kind of going viral. Like all the Swifties are mad at me. And they were like, what? And like, I didn't want to, I was like, yeah, I posted a video last night and it's at like 250,000 views and I'm terrified. But like, I genuinely was terrified. This had never happened. That level of visibility had never happened. It wasn't like, I had had a previous video pop, but it was about like documentary recommendations. So it was just very different. And I was like, yeah, like 250,000 people have viewed this in like 9 hours, and I don't know what's gonna happen. And it did slow down. Like it didn't hit 1 million for like a little while or whatever. But like now that I've been through that, like not multiple times, but I've had a few videos hit big numbers. It's so strange how people will switch up when they hear that you're getting those numbers versus like, oh, you're just doing little videos online. And it's like, we don't need to be dismissive of people. Like, in order for me to have like 3 or 4 videos that have hit really big, I needed to have thousands of videos that did fine. Like, that did fine to okay. But like, it's not about that. Like, there's something that I want to really emphasize for people. And it's like, it's not about the numbers. Cause like, you can't, those numbers don't mean anything ultimately. Like there's a certain point, like I've had this viral video happen again, kind of, it's like mini viral. Like I don't like to say viral because people get so like, oh, what do you mean by that? And then I'm like, 1 million views. And they're like, oh, that is viral. And I'm like, yes, like, but it should like, I've had this one off campus video that keeps getting attention. And it's me saying like, I just don't think the Bruins care that their draft pick fought. And every single day I get multiple comments on it that are like, you can't fight in college hockey, which is not engaging with the premise of the video, whatever. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care anymore because it reached a certain level that it doesn't matter. And what's interesting to me about that is like, there is a certain max out capacity that my brain has for really understanding just how many people have seen or interacted with me and my thoughts. And that's good that my brain can protect me that way. But it's really interesting that like those are not like the friendships and like the like kind of like deeper connections that I've forged are almost always on videos that have way fewer views, but way more insightful comments. And like that's my favorite part of it. And so it's one of those things where I felt very off put by doing any kind of traditional, like, please follow me for this. Like, I don't do call to actions. Like, I did literally one before I hit 10K. And it was right before I hit it. Cause I was like, if you're watching this and you follow me, like, please just let's get over this hurdle. Like, let's do this together. And it worked. People did follow me who had never followed me before and stuff. But like, I'm here not to just get a bunch of people to see me. I don't know. Yeah, and, like, also, I mean, sometimes the annoying comments are there from the beginning, and I didn't do a great job. Early on, I noticed that there were a few people, particular like, that YouTube generally has way better comments, but, like, it's one of those things where sometimes the comments get really I I don't love it when people feel really comfortable making assumptions about me or other people in my comment section and saying like, and I didn't do a good enough job of blocking those people early on. And then I felt bad doing it. And like that, I do actually have the right to curate my space online. And like, YouTube is such a weird beast for me because generally the videos I post get people who are interested in the thing I'm talking about. And like, then we get to have cool discussions. But sometimes when I post things that are not about one thing and are just about like my thoughts, it becomes very different. Yeah, I think I really gave myself permission early on to just like block without feeling bad about it because like it it is a mental protection thing for me. But then there's like a thing that happened that I allowed to happen by not blocking when my instinct was to block, where I was like, "Oh no, now it feels like a personal thing rather than like just what I need for this to be." Um and it wasn't, but also like I don't know. Lesson learned, you know? Oh my god. Okay, we should do work. But I don't want to okay, we'll do 20 more minutes of work and then I honestly might be done work for today, which is fine. I need to do expenses, but I should probably do those off camera. And then I'll be done with my work for today. And then we can, yeah, it's that thing where like I definitely let them breed intimacy with me that I was not returning, but clearly was being felt. And now I'm like, bye. But it's also that thing where like if you block early on, they don't remember who you are. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to look me up. Whereas like I get worried that people are going to like look me up if they realize that I'm gone one day. But also the thing about blocking is like usually when you're out of sight, you are out of fucking mind. And I don't talk about this a lot on here, but I have like memory disorder stuff where like I remember things way too well. And so like that doesn't happen for me. So it's hard for me to remember that it happens for other people. Meanwhile, I've never forgotten anything ever in my life, which is part of why I'm so fucking nightmarish sometimes. So it's also why I'm like, you can call me a lot of things. You can't call me dumb. So, okay. Every session is flexible pricing. Can't wait to see you at the workshops. Great. I'm going to send this on
Tuesday. What, Weem? What do you need, Jelly Bean? Why are you crying? Schedule. Tuesday. Tuesday at... Let's go with like 9... Let's go 10:15 a.m. Continue. Wow, that's a lot of people. Why would that be the subject line? Ugh. You're invited. Oy. Well, if people want to come to the Reset Your Goals session, if you're watching this, please do. It's going to be a good time. Wee. Hi. Oh, Wee, why are you crying? She's been really cryy lately. It's tough. It's tough for me to deal with because I just want to make her happy all the time. Okay. Is that it? Is that all I was really doing? That might be it. I might arbitrarily end this because I'm kind of like, I don't want to do anything else. Boop. Boop. Oh, I had other things I was planning on doing. I was planning to make video lists and things, which would be helpful because I feel like lately I've been too tired to like be creative about my video stuff, and then I get to making it and I'm like, I don't have time, I don't have thoughts, I don't have things I'm doing. Whiny weemy. Yeah. Weem has had many nicknames. Like all good cats. Her name is a nickname. Tiny Whiny Weemy Bear. Tiny Whiny was really one of her big nicknames very early on. Tiny Whiny and Squirmy Wormy. Because she's never been held successfully. She's such a squirmy worm. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Do you want to meow into the mic? She's so funny. I love Weem so much. She's so soft. I was so sad when I was away from her. It's why I'm like, I do want to take 2 weeks away, and I also am like, can I survive 2 weeks without seeing my cat? I made it a week in Ireland without too much fuss, but she still had Boo Boo, and I feel like now it feels so different now that she doesn't have Boo Boo. And that breaks my heart. Oh, that's really funny. I call that, those are like all nicknames I've given Weem, because Weem's nickname is Weemy, and so I feel like it's literally like Weem Bean is a name, and I've never thought about calling her Weemy Celebrini, but I absolutely would. I am so nervous for Backlund Celebrini. Does anybody ever like anybody ever just get nervous about someone who the RPF community is overly focused on?
Like, I do wonder, like, how much social media and, like, I know that hockey in particular, like, they do get training, like, they get a lot of press training very early on in their lives, but how much of that press training is now, like, also you will see fanfic about yourself and your teammates and you need to ignore it. Like, you need to ignore it in a way that it never enters your brain. Like, cuz what do you do? Like, it's and the thing okay. I'm officially calling it on doing work. Yes, exactly. Because here's the thing, people aren't as funny as they think. I'm going to be so fucking mean for the next like 5 minutes, and I hope everyone enjoys this because I rarely get mean and pessimistic on the internet. But holy fucking shit, do I have problems with the way that people interact with these real life people. Will Smith hockey in particular is just like his comment section is such a fucking nightmare. And like they pop up for me on TikTok all the time because of heated rivalry. And so because of heated rivalry and because what other people who are in a heated rivalry are into, I started getting edits that I was like, why am I getting these edits? And I was like, oh, because people who like my videos are fucking RPF shippers. Like, which is, and here's the thing, there's no moral, shipping real people is morally fucking neutral. Having thoughts in your own head with your friends on your secure, closed, fourth wall, not breaking Tumblr, I don't have a fucking problem with. I don't even really have a problem with it on Twitter but it's a lot more accessible there. There are real life people on that app, or used to be, and so it was always a little bit weirder. But the thing that bothers me and the lack of decorum that modern day shippers have is that they make it the real person's fucking problem. And like that is not in the tradition like of what the thing is, right? Like, so it's weird to me that whenever Will Smith posts anything, people are in there making it fucking weird about his best friend. Like, even if in your brain you are like those two fuck nasty, which is a weird thought to have about they are just so young. Like, please, just anyone who's into heated rivalry, I'm like, there is old man RPF you can be doing that I have way less moral scruples about. Because you know what? I think Sidney Crosby is fucking used to it at this point. Like, but please don't make this a 19-year-old's problem. Like, that is so strange. And like, it's just this thing where I'm like, no one can have fun because everybody has to ruin the fun by bringing people into it who are not supposed to be there. And the other thing is like what I was saying about the sense of humor is like people now do this thing where I call it bumper sticker humor. It has always bothered me, but they take one unfunny joke that they think is funny and they will just run it into the fucking ground in that person's comment section. Like, the thing about Sidney Crosby is like he's so fucking offline. Like, I don't even think he knows that Shane is based on him. In my brain, we have kept him safe from that information because you know what, he doesn't need to know that in many ways he was he was touted as the savior of hockey when he started in the league 21 years ago, and I don't think he understood just how much that would come true because now there's an entire wave of people getting into this fucking game because of a character that was based on him. I can't deal with it. It's very funny to me as someone who has been aware of Sidney Crosby since 2004. And so like that's like he knows he doesn't care. He has figured his shit out for himself. You know what? I believe that he has an incredible self-awareness when it comes to how he can do this, you know? Like it's fine. I believe, but like it's very, very weird to me. It's that thing where people screenshot photos that people post on their Instagram, and then instead of putting it in a private Discord where they're like, oh my God, Edmonton polycule, they write that in the fucking comments. Like, it's so weird. Like, I don't think Connor McDavid needs to know that you imagine him fucking his best friend or getting fucked by his best friend, because that wouldn't be something you would ever tell someone. Like, you wouldn't say that to your friends. You know what I mean? Like, when you're shipping real life people, you are doing something that like does not need to be brought to their attention. And I do feel like when I was in high school and my friends, we knew that like two of my friends had a crush on each other, we would do cringy shit You know what I mean? Like, we would all like leave the room really obviously at the same time. And we would put chairs next to each other and make sure that like we had all sat in the other chairs. So they had no choice but to sit together. That's cringy shit that we did in high school that we realized was like crossing a line and making people uncomfortable. And these were my real life friends who we were just trying to be like, you two should get over your shit and get together. That helped me understand that like if there are ever two people in real life that I am like, you two should fucking be together, it's not my fucking business. Like, and it makes people so uncomfortable to bring it up. You're going to ruin the relationship. Exactly. Like, you are going to ruin the thing that you're enjoying. And I feel like I really do think that this is like something that I don't want to blame one fandom. But I do think that the heated rivalry fandom was a culmination of many, many different fandoms. And like the thing about fandoms is you can often see the influence that other fandoms bring into the fandom. I don't think there would have been as much Sherlock incest fan fiction if half of the fucking fandom was not comprised of Supernatural fans. Like, it's yeah, exactly. It was high school. They were in front of 8 people. They knew that we had the best of intentions, and they did. Surprise! They did get together, and then she did cheat on that boyfriend with my brother and ruin our relationship forever. So, jokes on me. But like, it's one of those things where like it's just I blame a lot of the way that the heated rivalry fandom has moved on the influence of the K-pop fans that have entered into the space, because the K-pop fans that are foaming at the fucking mouth for 2 of those boys to kiss on stage were like, oh, those boys actually made out with each other and I get to watch that. And so then they brought the shipping real life stuff into Connor and Hudson's relationship and ruined that really effectively and really quickly. They will never be able to post about each other again and have like the internet be normal about it. So guess what? They're just not going to post again. And it's one of those things where like I don't fully understand what people got out of them posting or like knowing that they were like near each other or whatever, but I understand people did get something out of that. But like, yeah, that too. Like, for fuck's sake, just everybody calm. Why do you care what an actor's sexuality is? If they're playing the role well enough, I don't give a fuck. I only give a shit when straight actors play gay people, when there's clearly no comfortability with the gay actions that they're having to take on screen. Daniel Craig is not convincing in the movie Queer. He is fine. He does a fine job, but that making out did not move me. It did not make me feel like, oh yeah, finally this guy gets to do. And that's not true of Heated Robbery. So like it was this thing where like I would be on lives and I would be getting comments being like, oh my God, Hudson and Connor are on SNL together right now. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, I don't know how to make, like, I could not enter into any faction of caring about those actors from the very beginning because people were so fucking weird about them from the beginning. And like, yeah, in my real life friendships, I had different conversations happening but like, I was also like, they're so much younger than me. Like, it didn't appeal to me in the same way. So it's one of those things where like I knew instantly online that things were going to get weird. So I set really firm boundaries and people got really mad at me because in my comment section on TikTok, I would delete any photo that people posted where they were talking about Shane and Ilya, but they were posting photos of Connor and Hudson. And people were like, I don't understand why that's bad. And I was like, because you're blurring the lines between the character and the real people. And also the pictures that they were choosing of them was like Hudson bent over during a press screening and people being like, oh, that's the position he like, like gross. There's this thing with fandom where they are determined to humiliate people that they pretend to love. There is a certain level of like, we own these people. They owe us their success. And it's really fucking creepy to me because no, they fucking don't. Like, in no way am I owed anything by anyone who has been involved in heated rivalry just because I've talked about them a lot online. Like, do I think that HBO could have sent me a hockey jersey? Yeah, they could have. It would have been nice. I didn't expect it, nor am I owed it, nor will I behave any differently because I didn't get it. I wasn't making videos for people to, like, you know what I mean? And yeah, I think I'm like, do it. You should. I should. Like, I've never really said that because I don't like to make negative videos because I don't like the people who are going to fight me on these very rational topics. And so I don't want to have like an aggro comment section, but yes, it's the underlying resentment. And I also find this like we talked about Swifties earlier, and I think Sarah, you mentioned like the BTS army. Like I was a BTS fan for a few years. I'm going to their concert in like a month and a half. I have my own like BTS really helped me in a dark time in my life story, right? I'm not a part of the fandom. The fandom fucking terrifies me. But what I noticed in the BTS fandom that I was like, there is something happening here that makes me really uncomfortable. A lot of them have embarrassing photos of the members as their profile pictures. Like it's Jimin mid sneeze or it's RM making a funny face from like literally 15 years ago. And RM has now put out several fucking songs being like, please stop comparing me to who I was in the past. Please stop bringing up things that I said when I was 15 years old. Please, I'm begging you, see me as a real, fully realized adult human being who you don't know in real life and don't know anything about. And like, the thing about that fandom is like the jokes are so tired. The jokes are so old. RM can't drive. Well, guess what? Now he's got a driver's license, so you all need to update the fucking file. Like, and the reason that I feel so confident saying that the BTS fandom and heated rivalry have so much fucking overlap is because I recognize every single one of those fucking profile pictures. Like, there is a huge surge of those fans coming into that space and then getting into hockey and now bringing their weird, like the amount of shit that I'm like, it is actually incredible that Jimin and Jungkook ever even stand next to each other. It is incredible that V and Jungkook have not come out and said more shit. Like, yes. And it's the memeing stuff. It's like, oh God. And like, poor Jungkook. I mean, like, Jesus fucking Christ. This kid has been famous since he was 13 years old. And he's just never allowed to like have friends without people being like, he's gay and he's fucking all of his friends. And it's like, even if he was, do you think that saying it in that way is going to make him comfortable? No, it's weird. Stop being weird. Like I can understand that people are like, I think they have a really cute friendship and I like making videos of all their cute moments together. I can understand that urge, but when those videos get used as proof that he's a bad person because he might have a girlfriend, but this is how he acts with one of his bandmates. It's like, you don't know them. Also, people have such narrow definitions of what relationships are and look like. And a lot of Americans get very into K-pop because they're skinship. And so they like seeing boys have casual intimacy and platonic intimacy with each other. And like, it's very much like, here's my thing, even if Jimin and Jungkook are dating, nothing that has ever happened in that fandom makes it a safe space for them to say that. Also, they are from Korea. Like, they don't live in America. It is not the same culture. They are not going to, they're not going to come out even if they're dating a woman. Why would they come out saying they're dating a man? Like, it's so, yeah, and it's so frustrating. It's just so bizarre. And I'm like, this is the antisocial stuff that like really worries me, is like when I was growing up, RPF was something that definitely happened, but it happened in certain spaces and there was a lot of guardrails around it. And there was a lot of understanding that this shit doesn't get taken into real life. There are so many women. There are so many people of any gender, but let's just be general. There's so many women that hold Pittsburgh Penguin fucking season tickets because they love Sidney Crosby. And they love him in a way that I wouldn't say is necessarily platonic or appropriate. But guess what? As long as they don't make it his or anyone else's problem, it's not a fucking problem. But now, and in the past few years, all these women showing up to the fucking hockey games saying like, when do they kiss? Boy aquarium. Not funny. Boy aquarium isn't funny. Like it's like funny, haha, but it's not like, it's not actually a joke. Like, and people, because they don't have good sense of humor, they're not able to come up with their own jokes. They just repeat other people's jokes ad nauseum. And then it's like, this isn't even funny a little bit anymore. And like, now kiss. When do they kiss? Like, guys, please read We Breed Lions. Please. Like, oh yeah. The One Direction boys have had, I mean, like, the toughest, like, Jesus fucking Christ. The fact that Louis has now had to come out multiple times and be like, stop attacking the mother of my child. Stop saying that my child, a real living human being, isn't real. Like, that's so weird. And the thing about Larry is like, a lot of people who were involved in the Larry shipping were like, 13 and it was really normalized. And so like they've grown up thinking that this is a way that you can treat other people. And not only can you, but if you do, and if you're salacious enough, you will get recognition for it. And you will get more followers than the other people who are unwilling to be so socially grotesque about it. And it's such bullshit, and it's really upsetting. And yeah, I find modern fandom to be really disastrous, and I know that it's because of everything else that I have problems with in terms of like modern media. But it really is just exhausting. And I don't like feeling like the fun police, but I am just a little bit like, who raised you? And then I'm like, right, you weren't raised with any like guardrails on this, and people think it's a game and they think it's a joke and they don't understand. Yeah, it's not that it's new. It's that now people can leverage it in different ways. Like if you are like there's a girl on TikTok, I've talked about this before, who steals other creators' videos. And she's stolen mine like literally word for word, but not only word for word, laugh for laugh. So she's like tried to laugh where I laugh at my own jokes, but I'm like, that's not your joke, so you don't find that fun. Anyway, she is like a pretty big account on TikTok. She makes a lot of money off of her videos. And like, it's one of those things where like now whenever she talks about Connor and Hudson, if she does it in a salacious way, she's making money. There's like there's a completely different incentive now that exists. Like the incentive structure is so different from even what it was when the Larry stuff was happening. Yeah, I mean, Hugh Hefner also wouldn't let Marilyn rest in peace. Nobody lets Marilyn rest in peace, but like, ugh, that creepy old man. And so I do think like it's not that it's new, it's that the things that people can gain from doing it are relatively new. Cause like you didn't used to really be able to make money off this shit in the same way. Because I'm like, there have always been the people who ran fan clubs or fan magazines or like things like that. Like that's not new, but just being able to sit down, turn on your camera and be like, I think that these two were spotted here and they should make out, and like, or making an edit about two hockey players who skate together on the ice or whatever. Like it's, yeah. Yeah. And like, it's the same thing I have issues with people monetizing blind items and stuff too, because I'm just like, that isn't what this was. Like, I don't know. And I think like there's no accountability for it, because I don't know what accountability would be. But like snark communities are not addressing this shit. You know what I mean? Like there's no greater kind of backlash to it other than people being like, you're weird and creepy, and then those people being like, you're bullying me, and then it kind of ends. And it's like nobody seems to gain anything from these situations, and that's a real bummer. I can't believe it's already 5. I mean, I can, but I also can't. My boss moved my one-on-one from Tuesday morning to tomorrow afternoon, and like I was out of the office when she did it, so she didn't send me anything about it. And I don't know why, but now I'm like, I'm gonna get fired. And that just hit me. And I just had to say it out loud. Yeah, exactly. There's a reward system for it. There's no accountability system. And also like, what does accountability look like online? And is it just canceling people? And what does canceling actually do other than like really cause people to just like fortify mentally and like not be able to intake any feedback about the thing that they're getting feedback about? It just is so gross. Honestly, it's like, I'm like, it's not at the end of the day. Like, it's in the afternoon. Like I'm just being paranoid. It's so, I mean, like this is the thing, like when you said praise folder, I was like, I literally am so bad at receiving praise. Yeah, the thing is like I'm nervous because I took time off work to go do other work, and I was very upfront about that. But I just have this thing of like, maybe someone mentioned it to a boss who didn't know, and now they're like, hey, so actually you can't use your PTO to make money like with other gigs, but like they actually can't tell me that. It's a non-compete, like whatever, it's fine. It's fine. I'm so bad at receiving praise. It's great. But like I literally made it one of my goals this year to get better at receiving compliments. And I'm glad that I did because like I have little like mantras and things that I say to myself. Because otherwise after my facilitation, like after my like workshop on Friday, I would have been a nervous wreck. I would have been like, I wouldn't have been able to like deal with it. Um, I did a Gilmore Girls podcast with Megan Talks. It's called Divine Delectable Delirious. It's on Spotify. And she complimented me at the end, and we were on video for it. Like it's an audio podcast. We were on video for it, and she complimented me at the end, and she was like laughing at me because I was literally physically recoiling. Like I was like, "Oh my god, stop!" Like, and it was very very funny. So, um, yeah, absolutely. I think that I'm going to be praised in order for things to be held over my head. I think that praise is fake. I think that people are lying to me. It's really hard for me to intake things. I literally had a 30-day review where I got no negative feedback on my work or my work style. They had like a few suggestions of things I could do next, and it was all like, because you're doing so well, here's what we recommend you do before your 60-day review. And at the end I still was like crying. Like I had to like fake that I wasn't crying. As I was like, I've really enjoyed working here so far. And I just want to say that I've been working like by myself or with one other person for 6 years. So if I don't check in about everything I'm doing, it's just because like I assume you already know what I'm doing, or if I don't if it used to be that if I didn't do it or if Meg didn't do it, it just didn't get done. And now I'm working with a team and that's not true, but like still hard for my brain to wrap around. And my interim boss was like, that makes a lot of sense. Thanks so much for sharing that with me. And I felt like I had just like survived a Coliseum lion attack. Like it was just, I was like, oh my God, like I forgot that I need to get better at this. Um, Yeah, and like that's the thing about dance environments too, is it's like you're always working for praise that doesn't really exist, and that they don't want to over compliment you and things like that. And it's like, oh my God, everything that we know about child development now, I'm like, so the opposite is happening in every studio across America, where it's just women with who have like, you know, their expiration date for their dream has come and gone, and they're bitter about it because how could you not be? And they're talking about young girls' bodies in ways that should get them thrown in jail, and I don't believe in the carceration system. Um, can you tell I had a bad time in dance? Yeah, exactly. And like this is the thing about having like a feedback mindset. I literally have this chart on my whiteboard, which is from this book called Thanks for the Feedback. And it's literally like, these are the identity questions. This is what it sounds like when you have a fixed mindset, which is bad. And here's what it sounds like when you have a growth mindset, which is good. And so like I try to not take feedback anymore as a personal attack, and I really do try to see it as like opportunity to grow. My capabilities are always evolving. Hard work pays off. I like when I struggle and figure it out. It's not about being or doing things perfectly, but like holy shit, it's been like 2 years of me drilling this into my brain every day, and it did make it better, but it's one of those things where you're like, oh, I'm really fucked up. And that's okay. It's good to recognize that. Because then you can grow. Okay. I should stop ranting. Because I can feel my throat going, and I already spent the weekend partially dehydrated because I didn't have access to bathrooms readily because I was traveling and things. I did manage to be in two seats that did not have a middle seat. Um, yeah, same. Okay, I will say I'm recommending a lot of books that I feel like I recommend all the time, but I haven't recommended in a while. There is a book that literally changed my life when it came to receiving feedback because it made so much sense to me all of a sudden, in a way that it never had before. It's this book. It's called Thanks for the Feedback, The Science and Art of Receiving Feedback Well. Um, and it goes like the feedback chart that I have on my wall is in here. I believe it's bookmarked, but maybe not. Oh no, this is just the other good reminder. Um,
but yeah, it breaks down feedback into three major categories, which is coaching, evaluation, and praise. Which is why the praise folder made me laugh. So I was like, yeah, praise. That is one type of feedback. But they do a really good job with using examples and like, this is how it sounds when you have this. Identity triggers and the challenge of me. So it goes, basically, this book is about how none of us are good at giving feedback, and that's why we're all bad at receiving feedback. And it is kind of, it's about receiving feedback well, but it's much more about giving it. The science and art of receiving feedback well, even when it is off base, unfair, poorly delivered, and frankly you're not in the mood, because like, it's where we are in the mood for feedback, you know? Even when you're being asked, are you ready for fearless feedback? But there's an example in this book that goes into like like two daughters and their dad doing like baseball stuff, and it's basically, this book is entirely, I am in this picture and I don't like it. My sister and I read this when we were going through mediation when we were splitting up the company, and it was literally one of those things where I was like, well, if we had this, we wouldn't have to be here. Which is always a good feeling to have when you're in mediation. But I love this book so much. I think it really, yeah, here's the identity growth chart. But it has like, here's how two people hear the exact same sentence in completely different ways. And I was like, oh, so it's not that the sentences are bad, it's that my mindset makes them feel like someone's attacking me, even when that person is just genuinely trying to be helpful. So there's that. Okay. I'm so tired. I keep saying that, but I really, really am. So I'm gonna sign off. Okay. The other thing I'll say about this, I read it in like 2 days. It was really, really compelling, and it gets kind of repetitive in the way that a lot of nonfiction books do. So even if you only make it through the first quarter, it's good. I should honestly, I'm like, I should nap, but if I nap, I'm fucking myself for the rest of, like, I'm not gonna. Okay, what should I do? Let's game plan. Okay. I want to write in my journal because I wrote a lot this weekend and I really enjoyed doing that. So I should do 20 minutes of journaling. I need to write my Monday morning prompt in the official notebook and not in this notebook. I could meditate. That's not a bad idea. I should do yoga. I have not been working out this year, like in any frequent way, and that has been really getting me down. Just I miss the endorphins that I get from it. So part of me is like, I should do a dance workout, and then I should lift weights for a little while, and then I should shower, and then I should eat dinner, and I have to make dinner. Ugh. Maybe I have pasta. I've been gone for a little while. Everything's a little funky in the fridge. And then I should make dinner. Yeah, I did. I think I might have some leftovers that I can heat up. Ordering sounds really incredible though. I kind of want to order, but I'm like, I shouldn't, but I want to. So maybe I'll work out and shower and order, and by the time my hair is dry and my food is going to be here, I will feel like filming some more videos. Because I want to film some videos. And then I'll go to bed at a reasonable hour tonight, and I'll wake up at a reasonable hour tomorrow. And then I work from home tomorrow, which, if my apartment stays this gross, it might be worth it for me to start going to the office 5 days a week, but then it's not because of travel and blah, blah, blah. The problem with me is that I treat myself but yeah, maybe I will. Maybe I'll do one big goodbye order. Potatoes do sound good too. I do have mashed potato, like I have like a packet of instant mash, but I don't have anything to put with it, and I'm out of butter. Okay, oatmeal cookies sound incredible. Fun fact about me, my favorite Ben and Jerry's flavors are all the oatmeal cookie ones. Is One Sweet World the one they still have, or is that the one from before that's named after the Dave Matthews song that I'm thinking of? Does this still exist? No. This is not what I'm thinking of. One Sweet World. Caramel and coffee ice cream. No, but this does sound like the better version. Like they should make this again. This sounds like a really good version of fish food. Oatmeal cookie, Ben and Jerry's. There have been 2 over the years. And now I think they still have one, but it's not. Yeah, is oatmeal cookie chunk. Oat of This World. That's the one. I believe oatmeal cookie chunk. Sweet cinnamon ice cream with oatmeal cookies and fudge chunks. This was one of my favorites. When the supplier who made our oatmeal cookies stopped making them. Okay, but now they make Oat of This World, which is brown sugar ice cream with fudge flakes and oatmeal cinnamon cookie swirls. So why do they not make the better one, which was cinnamon ice cream? I have not been to the Ben & Jerry's factory in quite some time, but I should go again. There is a literal flavor graveyard there, and it is fun. And it used to be that when you went on the tour, they would make you moo to move from room to room. Okay, well, remember how I said I never forgot anything? Oat of This World instead of One Sweet World. I get where I messed up there. And oatmeal cookie chunk forever. Okay, doing great. Thank you all for being here and for joining me and for working with me, and that's really fun. They no longer make you moo, but it's still a fun factory. It's in Waterbury, Vermont. So if you ever go to Stowe, it's like in the next town over. And it's fun. Okay, that's delicious sounding. In Vermont, we don't call it soft serve, we call it creamies. And Vermont has some of the best creamies in the world. Whenever I go other places and they have like custard, I'm like, that's the closest thing to Vermont creamies. But the toasted coconut shell sounds really incredible. That sounds amazing. Okay, well, I might have to track down a Mr. Softy truck this week and get a soft serve. Oh, it is. It's also it's spelled Creemees, so it's a little less like. Ugh. But we call them creamies. And people from out of state always found that very funny at my camp. But Vermont dairy is good, so we do have some of the best soft serve. And Al's Ice Cream is one of the best places to get it. And I love Al's. They're a local 50s burger joint vibe. And they sell little, like, their burgers are like literally like this big. Okay, honey dill sauce, incredible moves happening. I'm like, that sounds good on ice cream. Like, God, I used to cook. I hate cooking in the summer though. I'm always like that. It's gonna be a big salad summer for me. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. One of the only things that I will take from Irish slang that I wish Americans would do is the loo. Like, it's such a better word. Bathroom? Ugh. Honey dill sounds incredible. I'm like, I want that on a bagel. I want that on a bagel over like cucumbers. Like a good cream cheese, like a thin cream cheese, and then cucumbers on that, and then a honey dill topping on that. Because like hot honey is everywhere. That's the thing. That's the thing. I did have someone once ask me where the water closet was, and I was like, "Are you an old-timey sea captain?" I bet it's good. Ooh, chicken fingers. Ooh. Ooh, maybe I'll treat myself to blue collar tonight. Maybe that'll be the move. I think they still have this like onion smash burger that's really good. that they said was a limited time, but I knew it wasn't going to be a limited time. Ooh, I do love a good burger. I'm really sad because the Korean place that I loved ordering from closed, and like there is another Korean place kind of close to me that's like good, but it's not incredible. Mayo, honey, and dill mixed together. Okay. I'm going to have to try this. I'm very excited about this. That also sounds really good on a burger. I do like their veggie burgers. Their fries have never arrived to me when delivered in any shape to be eaten. I do love throwing things in the air fryer that have been delivered, but I will say Blue Collar's chicken fingers are so fucking good, and their honey mustard is so fucking good. I feel like every time I've gotten Blue Collar in person, their fries are fine, but every time I've gotten Blue Collar delivered, they're just like bad. And not to out myself, I live pretty close to a Blue Collar. Like it should not take that long. But it's also so expensive. Like, I don't know. I feel like when I order it for myself, I tend to forego the fries and get like other things. I don't know why. But I'm also like, this entire conversation about ice cream, I'm like, well, now I want a Blue Collar shake and fries to dip in the shake. And they're local, and that's good. It's good to support local. Okay, well, I said at 5 I should go, and I talked for 20 more minutes as per usual, but this was so fun. Thank you all for like being here. I have never I watched a thing yesterday that was like 90s snacks, and one of them was the DQ Blizzard, and I was like, I really want to try that. I've never been to Dairy Queen. We didn't have one anywhere near me growing up, and my mom was not ever going to let us eat processed sugar of that volume. So I just never got one. And now I'm like, I really want a Blizzard. I want to try one. Would love to have one someday. So, oh, see, that's fun. We had like local places, and like in Vermont, when we lived there, we would go to Ben and Jerry's scoop shops and stuff. But yeah, I've never been to a Dairy Queen, and I've never tried a Blizzard, and I really want one. And I've wanted one since last night. So I don't think there is a Dairy Queen in New York City, but I did pass a Sonic recently, and I was like, we have a Sonic? Where the fuck was I? Oh, I was out in, I remember where it is. Oh, interesting. Yeah, my mom broke a tooth on a Heath bar. And so I've avoided Heath bars forever because of that traumatic incident. Yeah, I forgot. I was like, where the fuck was I? I was over by downtown Brooklyn. And we were leaving the place, and yeah. That's so fair. I've only been to a Sonic twice, and one time it was in college, and I went because everybody wanted to go, and I was like, I love to road trip. Like, if there's one thing about me when I had a car, it was that I was willing to drive pretty much anywhere. Yeah, that makes sense. They need it, like they're like a drive-through thing. Sonic is too. Sometimes in New York, you'll see things and you're like, we have a White Castle in Harlem. Why? Like, it just doesn't feel like it fits. But sometimes like, I don't know. I went to a drive-through Taco Bell like years ago on like New Year's Day. I like drove the con man and my ex-best friend to go get Taco Bell, and then I threw up while driving. It was great. I used to just be throwing up anywhere, man. I was so anxious for years and years, and I did not seek any professional attention for it. I instead just puked bile every morning. It was awesome. It was such a great way to take care of myself. I don't know. There are things that like get said to me occasionally on the internet that I'm like, what? That I'm like, right. I've never talked about myself before in any revealing way. Somebody once like says like the things people have accused me of that I'm like, it's so funny to try to like, yes, most other people that would land. But for me it does not. Especially in terms of like stuff with Shane and Ilya that comes up a lot, where people are like, well, if you were raised in an abusive household, you would understand. And I'm like, sure. Yeah. No, I have no idea what it's like to disappoint your parents. And also like late diagnosis for autism.
And like growing up not knowing that you're neurodivergent is also one of those things where I'm like, yeah. Tell me more about that experience and how I could never relate. Some of us have both Shane and Ilya in us and are like, oh, fuck. It's not one or the other. Sometimes you can be neglected because you're autistic. Anyway, no, it's because both my parents were alcoholics. And suffering in their own ways. And I've come to understand that they were trying their best, and their best was not great. And so I have had to try my best in my adult life to fix it. And yeah, I think that is another thing that is not being talked about. Maybe I'll talk about it now that I'm like thinking about it in this way, but like, gee, I wonder why so many women relate to feeling like they have to take care of everyone around them and like keep themselves really tightly controlled in order to make sure that they're not causing harm or disruption to anyone else around them, no matter how much harm it might be causing ourselves to keep it all inside. I wonder why women find that relatable. Um, I'm so over this idea of like you're fetishizing gay men, and it's like, oh my god, no. Also, we exist in a world where everyone is like fetishized all the time about everything. Women don't get to do that. It only gets to happen to us. We don't get to indulge in fictional fetishization. Like again, I do have a problem with people taking it into the real world, especially when they apply it to men who aren't even gay. But like, it's not fetishization to just enjoy reading a book. Like, it's actually fine. I don't know, like I keep seeing things of like the off-campus author fetishizes lesbianism, and then it's like 3 quotes being like, this guy enjoyed watching 2 girls make out at a party, and I'm like, that sounds like she's trying to characterize the guy as like I don't think that's her being like, god, it's so hot when girls make out for male attention. um yeah, it's also that thing where like gay men were really upset about heated rivalry for some reason, and it was because it wasn't like, I don't know, the conversation wasn't really centered around them because they're not usually at the center of male romance novel conversations because they don't read them. Women do. They're written kind of like, they're not all written by women for women, but a lot of them are. And that's its own ecosystem. And I'm sorry that a bunch of them found out about it and got upset all at the same time. But like, that's what was happening. Um, yeah, also just there's a lot of theories that go into why women enjoy reading about 2 men so much more than they enjoy reading about like hetero romance. And I find a lot of the arguments to be like partial because I don't think it's one thing for everyone. Um, I do think that part of it is like, I think a lot of straight men don't understand just how much like hope core is happening for women within these. Where it's just like, oh, men could be that way or whatever. But like the thing for me, like just in the least complicated way possible, and I don't mean this in any bad way for anyone, and it's not even necessarily true for me because I'm bi. Um, it doesn't surprise me that women like to watch 2 men make out or imagine 2 men making out for the exact same reason that it doesn't shock me that men like to watch 2 women make out or imagine 2 women make out. Especially if you're monosexual and you only have a desire for one type of body or one set of gender, whatever it is. When that's the only object on the screen, it's a lot easier for your desire to just be uncomplicated and be about that. And is it fetishizing lesbians? Probably, yeah. Like sometimes, yeah, exactly. I am not a self-insert because here's the thing. I've never been able to self-insert into a book that most other people are able to self-insert into because I grew up fat my entire life. So unless the protagonist was explicitly fat, I have never been able to insert myself into that experience. And so like it's just not something that I have as part of my reading of a situation. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's all this emphasis on like self-inserting, and it's just like not what appeals to me about reading these things. I also think, and I'll say this because again, we're deep into it now.
I find it really funny that people are very passionate about defending the literary prowess of the Heated Rivalry books when I'm like, they're smut. They're smut. They're good smut, but they don't need to be the second coming. They're not that well written. She's not that talented of a, like, in terms of syntax, which is fine. They're smut books. They're supposed to get you hot and horny and have a little bit of plot in between to make the hot and horny stuff even hotter and hornier. Like, they're not supposed to solve world hunger. Totally. Yeah. I'm not someone who puts myself into other people's art in order to appreciate the art, or I don't need to. And that's not my instinct. And I think it's interesting that there's so much emphasis now on like, this song is about me and and it's like, well, no. That is the hottest scene. Like, fucking make me is one of the best retorts I've ever, like, first of all, it's Shane having a lot of agency in the sexual dominance of that scene. Like, him asking, "You gonna come for me, Rosanov?" and getting responded and having the response of like, "Fucking make me," is so them. It's so their relationship. It's a perfect encapsulation of like, yeah, they're like, the thing that they like love about each other is the competitive nature of it. It's the fact that they're both the best. Like, I don't know. I always think of the I talk about the scene so much and it's such a mid movie, but it's like truly one of my favorite movies of all time. There's a scene in Center Stage where the dad from the OC, Peter Gallagher, is giving a speech, and he says, "Raise your hand if you were the best ballerina in the last class you took." And like everyone raises their hand, and he goes, "It's a heady thing, isn't it? Being the best. Teachers dote on you, other students ask for your advice." And it's this thing of like, being the best is a heady thing. It's a fucking huge thing to have to deal with, and they don't have to deal with it alone anymore because there's someone else there with them. And like, they're their style of perfection is only going to be met and matched by someone who has an equally intense style and approach. And I feel like what's so great about these characters is that they have really understandable motivation shit. And exactly, like, Rachel Reed wrote the shit out of that forward. Like, Heated Rivalry opens in a way that you're kind of like fucking knocked on your ass of just like, oh shit, these guys are fucked up and I love it. Like, Shane being like, I can't look at him. I can't reward myself by looking at him because I lost tonight. So I better just get pounded into the fucking mattress instead. Incredible pathos. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Shane Hollander? And why am I so into it already? And I'm like, oh, because I recognize that. Like, I recognize that in myself. Yeah, hell yeah. I think like that is a huge part of it, is just like this feeling of like, oh, I can do it if I work really hard. And like, they like the scenes in the gym and so like, it's so important to have belief and to have like goals that feel like you can't even really admit them to yourself because they're so scary. And like, and sometimes they're those goals that like you honestly like don't want to share with other people because you just don't want their reaction to like fuck with your shit. And like, it's been really important for me to recognize that like, my biggest supporters are often not going to be the people in my life necessarily, especially if they've never shown the capacity to do that before. I should not expect them to suddenly have the capacity to take my dreams seriously. And that sucks. But you can find people who do relate to you in other ways, and particularly like online. And I think that's so fucking great that you're working on a script that you really believe in and love and like have faith in. Like, I think that's huge. And I hope you're really proud of yourself. Like, I read something a long time ago that I think I've taken with me to a degree that I'm like, this is probably bad, but like, I don't like saying I'm proud of you. I like saying, I think, like, I hope you're really proud of yourself. And it's because someone was like, why does my pride in you? Why do I think that has any, but like, I know it matters. I know it matters to hear that like people are proud of you, but like, I really do think like having someone remind you that it's important to be proud of yourself is a really important element of doing things artistically. And it's really meaningful. I'm so like, yay, we're all here supporting each other, hanging out, being the best people we can be, and like recharging and resetting and doing work. And it's like, it's all important. It's all so important. And yeah, like I think it's really important to be reminded that we need to be proud of ourselves, and we need to be proud of ourselves regardless of how other people feel about it, because there will always be people who you think are going to support you, who are jealous, who are envious, who can't get there. And that's not a reflection of you. That's a reflection of them. But it's really hard. It's really, really hard. Like, I have a friend who in college, one of her best friends was often very cruel to her. And it was because she was jealous. It was because she was very, very jealous, and she didn't want my friend getting like attention from men and like all these other things. But it doesn't make it hurt less that that person was shitty to them. You know, like, even if it's like, oh, well, she was jealous, she didn't want you competing for boys with her, like, she was trying to tear you down. People are doing the girls are doing psychological warfare on each other that the Geneva Convention should really like take a fucking look at. But like, it doesn't make it hurt less that we understand that the motivation was coming from a place of jealousy. And so it's really important as artists and as people, as anyone, but I think particularly this happens to artists, being our own biggest cheerleader is such a huge part of making sure that we continue to do the work and that the work gets done. And occasionally you do need people to remind you of stuff. And like, I don't know, like, it's so cool. Art is really cool. Leaving behind legacies is cool. Talking about the shit you love is cool. David Hockney died, and I've been really sad about it this weekend, because he just like, his art means a lot to me, but it gets to keep meaning stuff to me because he made it while he was alive, and now it gets to outlive him. And it's been really incredible in the last like 8 months to really understand like what I'm going for, even if I refuse to look at it too closely, because I am afraid that it's like staring at the sun for me, where I'll just become like but like, it makes me so incredibly happy and proud and scared all at the same time when people are like, I listened to your podcast and the thing you said about cults. And I'm like, I said that in 2022. Like, oh no, what did I say? But it's cool. Like, it's so like, oh, once I made it, it just gets to exist. And like, yes, there are probably personal essays that I should take off the internet at this point. But I don't want to, because I don't know, the other day somebody left a comment being like, nobody ever talks about the messy in between part from hating yourself into doing things that allow you to love yourself. And I was like, oh, I've talked about it. I extensively documented getting over myself for 5 straight fucking years on my blog. Here you go. Like, if you want to read about the goo phase, as I called it, because that's what I called it when I was like, I have been this sad, sad caterpillar who was always too afraid to become a butterfly. And now I'm in the chrysalis, and I'm made of goo, and I don't know how to become a butterfly, but it's better than whatever I have been doing. And it's a mess in here, and I hate it. Get me out, get me out, get me out. And then I, last year at this time, changed my entire life with the simple act of taking a stand-up class. And I know that not everybody has the thing that they've been deciding to do for the most of their life, and they can finally just let themselves do it. But like, I think a lot of us do have that. And like, I was really lucky that mine was accessible to me via a class. But like, if it wasn't a class, it would have been open mics, and I would have figured it out, and it would have been fine. But this time last year, I had never facilitated a workshop. And this weekend, I flew back from facilitating a workshop in person that people said was the best workshop they've ever been to. Like, I'm like, I so feel for you on the like the death and the rebirth, and I think that is a beautiful way to look at it. And like, because death requires a lot of attention and a lot of grief and a lot of death is an active act. We think of it, I think, a lot of times as passive, but it's not. It's a lot of decision making that goes into it. And rebirth is so important. I get a few years ago I got really frustrated with like I'm waiting for the new world that is struggling to be born, and I was like, why are we blaming the fucking baby? How are we making this the mother's fault? Oh, who's struggling to give birth to it? Is it a woman? Um like I got like overly philosophical about it in a way that was not helpful. But I do think like the new world that is struggling to be born, like that struggle is from so many things. Um Life is really hard, and like there are phases of it that are just that feel endless, and that feel hopeless, and that can create like a real core cynicism for all of us. And I think that like recognizing that is such a huge component of like not allowing ourselves to be subsumed by it, not consumed, because I think like consuming is at least an active act, but subsuming feels like shit. Um, and retaining your agency as much as possible is great, and looking at the things. And yeah, I hope you're really proud of yourself for like within this phase of life having reinvigoration around other elements of your life too. Like all of that really matters and it's huge. And we're all just going to keep showing up until the day that it changes, because it is just like a day that you know what I mean? Like it doesn't change everything forever, but there is a day that you will wake up and it will be easier than it's ever been before. Um, and that's huge. And that's what's worth sticking around for. Because we don't have any guarantees. And making the most of our time is always important, but it's not always possible. And also my phone is going to die, and I have now been talking for 40 minutes past the time that I said I was going to go. So not to hard pivot out, but my phone is about to die, and that will be the hard pivot if I don't if I don't gracefully close this out. So thanks for looking at my computer screen while I've ranted for 40 minutes. That was not my intention, but it is what happened. So glad we all got to hang out. I need to go work out and shower and do everything and all the things. I might be on later, but probably not. Probably on TikTok. We'll see. I should honestly rest my voice. Thanks for hanging with me. Always thrilled to do these. I will probably do some more of these this week. After work, probably some late night work sessions. I also need to like make videos about the events that I'm doing, but I haven't made facilitation videos in a while and I'm nervous to do it. Why? I don't know. Okay. Everything's going to be great. You're all great. We're going to make it through. I hope the cookies are good. I hope the pasta is good. I hope your delivery food is delicious. Now I'm really curious where you ordered from. And yeah, we're going to crush it. Week 25 of the year. We're kind of almost halfway through 2026. I need a new goal. Ooh, okay, wait. I think like I think we live near each other. Italian sounds good. I never order Italian. That's good to know. I literally only ever use Seamless, and I never shop around for promos, and I honestly should. My friend got Westville delivered to the office last week, and I was like, and then she was like, Uber Eats had a promo code, and I was like, I haven't had Westville in so many years. I make the Westville chicken salad for myself at home because it's really fucking good and I love it. I think I actually have a blog about the Westville chicken salad. But I used to have a boss that was a terrible boss, but she did regularly order me Westville like on a pretty unlimited budget, and that was the fucking best. The thing that I order the most, which is like not something I should get delivered, but there's something about getting halal food delivered that I truly love. Yeah. That Look, chicken and potatoes is such a fucking classic. Such a fucking classic. I love it. I love chicken and potatoes. I love potatoes so much. I should make really good potatoes in my air fryer this week because the air fryer does not heat up the rest of the house. Yeah, you can't beat halal, especially when it's a 25% off your order coupon. Extra white sauce, tiny bit of hot sauce, lettuce and tomato, incredible. Potatoes are such a state. I think I have a blog about how maligned the potato is. Um, it Potatoes are one of the only vegetables that if you add a fat content to them, they have your entire day's like mineral and vitamin consumption inherently bioavailable to you. They're one of the easiest to digest vegetables. I love them so much. Okay, my phone is going to die. Glad we ended on potatoes. Potatoes. Everybody go enjoy the rest of your day. Go read Thanks for the Feedback or Palo Alto. Maybe we'll all write a book about potatoes someday together because it seems like we are the patatas bravas. Okay, great. Gonna sign. Bye. This was so lovely.